Hey, what's up everybody? Brandon here, Midnight Customs. So a while back we had bought a 60-gallon DeWalt air compressor. We got it all wired in, professionally done, and it never worked. It just didn't work. Wouldn't turn on, wouldn't do anything. And everything was done correctly, but it just wouldn't work. So after reaching out to DeWalt, turns out DeWalt doesn't make their own compressors. I kind of had a sneaking suspicion. I learned a while back also that there's a couple other name brand tool companies, that there's one company that builds compressors and then just paints them and slaps that name brand's label on them. Whatever. The point is, the thing cost me $1,100 and I want it to work for $1,100. So the motor didn't work. We tested it. It was deader than a doornail. So we're talking about this thing right here. This thing just did not work. Today, not shortly after I got home from work, this showed up. So now we're going to go ahead and take this one off, and we're going to make sure we know which wires are going where, and we're going to put that one on, and we're going to fire this baby up. So let me get the camera set up, grab some tools, and we'll get this on film for you. Now before we get started, I just want you to know from the bottom of my heart, I have never done this before. This is my first time. So you get to learn as I learn. And not only that, you get to laugh and critique and troll the video. So do this at your own risk. In no way do I take responsibility for what you at home do. That's your business. I claim no responsibility, first and foremost. So let's get into this. I'm sure these are metric. You can also use a screwdriver, but 1/4 inch socket works too. And there went that. What you're going to want to do is take a photo of where each one's going to, but make sure your power is disconnected. Shut your breaker off or unplug it depending on how you have your cord set up. Mine's on a plug. Anyway, just take a photo. That way you can match up all of these connectors to where they go into the new motor. You just have your 3 wires. Cage is off. We'll set that aside for a little later. So right here, there's 2 of these. It's a little 4mm Allen key set screw. You have to take that loose. And there's 2 of those. You don't want to lose that. I'll take a flat screwdriver and we'll try and get this belt off. Just like that. So this is what I'm going to try and use here. All right, there's your pulley. Set this with the belt for later. Probably won't need that again. So now what you got is 5 1/2-inch bolts. And they got nuts under them. Now this motor weighs 50 pounds. So well, there's the old motor. There's the new motor. So right here we have the bad one. Here's a brand new one. Don't forget to swap over your little gasket. It's got these little ridges in here, so they just line up with these. And then you just will rotate this over. So you'll have 2 bolts that go in this side and 3 that go in on this side, because this will sit here. As you can see, you've got your slots. There's 3 on this side, 2 on that side. Makes it pretty easy. So we'll go ahead and get those bolts pushed back through this and get her up there. Also, you got a little condom thingy on here. Leave that on until you have this back in its spot. That way you don't mar it up on any of this stuff up here. We got that in the right spot. Hopefully the right spot. And go ahead and start putting our nuts back on. I wonder what Matt the Scrap Whisperer is doing right now. You guys have all heard of gear wrench, yeah? The ratcheting wrenches. They're pretty new, last 20 years or so, I'd say. But Montgomery Ward. Who remembers Montgomery Wards? Anyway, this is a ratcheting wrench. This is probably from the 80s or 90s. All right, let's all tighten down. Get rid of Junior here. When you're putting this thing back on, make sure your keyways are lined up. Because that would not be good if they were not lined up. It's like that. Now the trick is, you want to get your pulley lined up with the other pulley. Pulley alignment is very important. Well, my eyeball says that that looks pretty good. So, go ahead and slide this keyway in. Don't lose it. Don't lose it. cinch her down. And don't forget, you got 2 of these. It looks pretty lined up to me. I guess we'll have to put the belt back on and see how that goes. Get your flat screwdriver, take your belt, get it in the grooves over there. Alright, it took me a second, but I got the belt back on. So we had to use a little soap, kind of work it on here. But anyway, got that cleaned up as best we could. Hopefully it doesn't throw the belt once we fire it up, just because there's soap on there. In any case, we're going to put the cage back on. That way if it does throw it, it doesn't hurt nobody or damage nothing. So we'll get that back on real quick, and then we'll get to wiring up the actual motor. Alright, we got it wired in. Here's the moment of truth. No juice.